Bruh.
Man, what the hell is this? Oh yeah, we're gaming now. Hello everybody, my name is Skeletormandee, but you can call me Tormandee for short. And welcome back to the Warframe Iron Man. Last week we went ahead and crafted Oberon by unlocking the Saturn Proxima. We finished both Venus and Saturn. This week, we're not going to be doing a whole lot. I think what my plan is, well, A, we got to showcase Oberon, and I know just the perfect place to do that without introducing anything new, but B, I have more unused footage. Yeah, last week's video, I wanted to focus entirely on the Venus and Saturn Proximas, and Railjack just has a lot of stuff I have to talk about if I want to cover everything, so it got pretty long. But what I didn't show off is that last week, we made a pretty essential upgrade to our operator. Now, as you know, the operator is pretty stupid looking, but what was even stupider than the operator is our moat amp. This thing sucks. It's bad. But we went ahead and got the upgrade. That's right. This is a 111 amp, which just refers to the parts used. We use a numerical system just to, I don't know, spit out something and it makes sense. Those who know moment. But I didn't want to showcase that last week because, damn, Railjack really took 36 minutes of yapping. So what we're going to do today is, firstly, we got to show off how we got that amp. Very important. And then secondly, we'll jump into the Oberon showcase. Because, Oberon just got reworked with this newest update, and he's pretty fucking good. But we got stuff we gotta talk about. So, flashback to the ampening, and I'll see you guys shortly in the simulacrum.
Flashback.
The mode amp is done. We gotta go take a look at that. Okay, little mouth breather, you can close that jaw of yours. So we're here. We did it. We got our mode amp to rank 3. This is what we like to call ice on the wrist, except it's not. This is more like poop on the wrist, because it sucks. The mode amp is terrible, but we don't have it gilded, so we gotta go do that. All right. Unco, I'm here. I think it's other services. Yeah. Whoa. Adherent? What rank is that? Please be.
Bruh.
Okay. Well, I thought I'd be gilding my moat amp like a cool guy, but I guess I'm just a dickhead. This does bring up a problem though. For our operator, the moat amp is not gonna cut being a good amp. And by a good amp, I mean a usable one. It just sucks so bad. So we might actually have to do something crazy, which is invest in this first tier of amp stuff, which means I have to mine resources. Yes! Sorry, blow my fucking heart out of my chest. I think we should craft this at some point, maybe like next week. But oh, that was actually a fucking colossal buzzkill. I love mining rocks. Oh, yeah, that's what I needed. God damn, dude. Oh, I'm gonna get angry. I'm gonna get so fucking mad. Give me my white rock so I can be... What the fuck was that? Brother, can I please get the fucking Esther, whatever it's called? The white one. Where are the slots? Oh my fucking god. What? This shit sucks so bad. This is a red vein, ain't it? Oh! Alright. I saw an awesome suggestion on the fucking wiki that if I fail it... Oh! Oh! One more. I am not kidding. If I do not get this gem within the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna start aggressively liquid diarrhea spray shitting in my room. And it's only gonna affect me. Dude. Oh! I think I need literally one more. This is it, though. This is the method. Yep, we're done. We're fucking out of here. Go. Okay, so I went mining because I decided literally when I stopped recording that clip where I was like, oh, we might do the amp in the future. I'm just gonna do it now because we have a stockpile of resources from, I killed a couple of those thumper things in the Plains of Eidolon while I was doing Plague Star every once in a while because I got so fucking bored. They just drop a bunch of resources. So, you know, I figured I'd have a lot of Escher, but I guess not. Anyway, I'm gonna let this craft, and we're going to be back. And we're gonna craft our amp. Alright. The fuck that was. Anyway, we're ready. We can craft our Raplak Prism, our Pensha Scaffold, and our Clap Crub Brace. And this is gonna take an hour to craft, so back to the Railjack, baby! Yeah! Alright, we're back at Quill Unco. I went ahead and crafted those pieces up. Took them out of the arsenal. Anyway, other services is what I didn't mean to click. Amp assembly. An amp is composed of 3 parts: the prism, the scaffold, and the brace. The prism is going to be your primary fire, the scaffold is going to be a secondary, and then your brace is just going to give you like a passive effect, such as increased crit chance or status damage, shit like that. Anyway, this one gives us more ammo. This, and look at that, our first amp, the 111. And what the 111 refers to is the amp pieces. Since this is the first prism you can get, it's the 1. This is the first one. This is the first one. That's commonly how you'll find people referring to their amps. Let's go ahead and build this. Yep. And now, instead of having dookie on the wrists, we can have heat. Why is it like piss yellow? Like dried piss yellow. Anyway, one important thing to note before we try this out is we are on Moderai. Let's go in here. Yes, I have a lot of Moderai XP. What's important to note is that we've got Void Strike maxed. Let's try it out. 1,000 damage? Yes! That's so much better than our other poop amp. We also have an alt fire. Wow. Now, obviously, it's not going to do anything to a level 80 corrupted heavy gunner with full armor. But if we tap this one... We're doing it. We're doing amp damage. Now, this is exciting because this is going to make our operator actually able to do something very important.
End of flashback.
Alrighty, so we're back. Finally. Amp was pretty tedious to get. I had to mine gems on Earth and I got pretty angry. But all in the name of having a good time. That amp is going to be pretty essential once we get into things that require amp. Spoiler for what's next week. But we're not here to talk about the amp. No, sir. We're here to talk about Oberon. And what a Warframe Oberon has become. Real quick, for showcase purposes, we'll come in here. We have Rolling Guard on and Flow. Rolling Guard for invulnerability for 3 seconds and status removal. And Flow for energy. But we don't need Overguard on Oberon, because Oberon has status immunity and invulnerability in his base kit. But we'll get into that shortly. First up, let's talk about his passive. And every time we pick up a health orb, us and our allies in affinity range are going to get a protective stack of righteous negation, which stacks up to 3 times. And what that does, it gives you total immunity for that instance of damage. Probably should have just unpaused these guys, but let's come over here. And they're Eximus units for a reason. We took 3 rockets before our shit ran out. Huge. We'll do it again. Awesome. Just a nice passive, you know? You know exactly what you're getting into with that, which is invulnerability. And we're gonna die. That's gonna be a very rare thing, so don't get used to it. Now, moving on to his actual abilities. His 1, Smite. With Smite, if we press R1, it's going to totally armor strip our target. And now, when I say totally armor strip, I don't just mean armor, actually. It's a defense strip. It's gonna take away that armor and that overguard, all in one ability. Well, maybe not, because we don't have ability strength on. Hiya! Oh, it did. So it sends out a little projectile. Well, I don't know if it's a projectile really, but it casts around the target you're looking at. It prioritizes Eximus units because they're the most valuable thing to use this ability on. And it does an instance of damage, and it slams down and does a little radial damage pool. We'll show that again. Boom, boom. As you can see, it hit that guy. And it was doing pretty solid damage too. That was what, 28k on the reverberation? 23k? Yeah, not bad. Now, we like to call this the fuck you ability, because if we look at this Eximus unit, we can see it's got full armor and full overguard. Not anymore. Moving on to this guy. Not anymore. And that's just so peak. This is also his helmet ability, so this is probably doable on every character now. Now, moving on to Oberon's 2, we've got Hollowed Ground. This is going to put a grass field on the floor, which has multiple effects. Firstly, it's going to constantly proc radiation damage. Radiation damage isn't exactly the best damage type in the game. It's going to make these enemies infight with each other, which I guess I can show off real quick. We'll come over here and you can see, yeah, they're going toe for toe with each other. But Oberon does want to have radiation stacks built up for his 4. Another effect Hollowed Ground has is that while we are standing in it, we are totally status immune. Now, this is kind of hard to show off because I have on Worm and my Righteous Negation stacks, but we are status immune in this. Moving on to Oberon's 3, if we go ahead and cast this is Renewal. Look at that little crown. What Renewal does is it's going to give us a protective aura that grants bonus armor to us and our allies, as well as healing us over time. Now, the healing effect is doubled in Hollowed Ground, but I think what this really shines for is the armor bonus. If we were to have something like Arcane Battery, which we don't, we would be able to increase our maximum energy just by having this ability on. And it's pretty chill to keep up cast times, as once we get into his ult, we'll see why, but it just heals us and gives us armor. I'm not going to show this off because these guys will fucking cook me, but that's what it does. And it affects all of your allies in affinity range. So if you're playing in a group, which, I have no friends. I'm not allowed friends. You want to play on Vazarin so you can really benefit from this the most. Alright, now on to Oberon's final ability, and the one that really brings his kit all together, Reckoning. So what this is going to do is we're going to come over here, and it's going to pick up and slam down all of these enemies. Kind of like how the damage happens on Smite. Boop. And it does a good bit of radiation damage. But if we are to kill these enemies now that got picked up, they have a 50% chance of dropping a health orb, as you can see. This also has a 60% armor strip by base. So pretty good. But there's still more to talk about with this ability. It's just nuts. So firstly, if we have our 3 active, Renewal, and we go around and pick up some of that energy, if we were to cast our 4, we actually steal the armor, and it goes and buffs up our Iron Renewal at the top right. This is just giving us the armor that we stole from him, but it also increases the armor we get from Renewal. Really good, especially if we have Arcane Battery. But the last thing that I want to show off with it, that's very important to how it works, is it does more damage based on the amount of radiation stacks that are applied to the enemy. So now that these guys are all at 10 stacks, I don't have energy. Now that these guys are all at 10 stacks, if we were to hit our 4, you'll see did very little damage, but remember, these guys are level 80 and we have no mods on. And hiya! Considerably more damage. So it's not really great showing off how his kit works in the simulacrum, just because he's a very active character. We're going to be going around and things are just going to be happening. So I apologize for that, but let's show off the build that we have for Oberon. Bam! This is what I cooked up. Just to briefly explain our stats, we have a little bit of efficiency. This is because we want to keep up his 3 as much as we can, and also just to lower the cast because we are going to be spamming the shit out of Reckoning. We can afford to lose a little bit of duration. Duration only really affects his Hollowed Ground, which I like to be very mobile with Oberon, and I'm recasting this a lot, so I don't really think we need too much duration. It probably would be beneficial to just have it at 100% at the very minimum, but fuck that. I don't really care. Then, of course, we're pushing strength because strength is a good stat if you want your stuff to do more damage. But range is the most important stat on Oberon. Preferably, you want to shoot over 200 with something like overextended, which I don't have leveled, so I wasn't seeing it. Range is just very, very, very important. It makes getting your hollowed ground to stack up 10 radiation stacks easier. Makes hitting enemies with your reckoning easier. It's a good stat. Ugh. And the reason I don't have overextended on is because our strength options are limited. If I were to have something like Molt Augment to offset the strength deficit we would put ourselves in, that'd be very handy, but we don't, so we're gonna opt out of that. Equilibrium is a must-run on this character in your build. You can either do Equilibrium or Purple Shards if you're at that point, which we're not, so. But we're gonna be creating so many health orbs with our 4, and if we had access to Universal Fallout, which would be the other arcane that I'd recommend running on them, we would be generating a lot of universal orbs, which I don't know if Equilibrium affects, but either way, energy economy absolutely solved. Lastly, I will say we have natural talent on because the 4 has a poopy casting time. It's very slow. Now, I would recommend yellow archon shards, but again, we don't have any, and that's my biggest problem with Oberon on the Iron Man account, or if you're newer. He's very good. And this is still a very effective build, even at the stage we're at in this game. This is very, very fine. But Oberon just feels so much better when you have stuff to put on him. But real quick, let's delete these enemies and we'll resummon them. Oberon's gonna be very good. Even though our abilities aren't exactly killing things, we always can just shoot them. And this is very effective. Crazy, I know. But Oberon should be very good, and what I have in store for next week, which I'll just say now, we're going to be doing Conjunction Survivals. He will be an absolute champ for it, but that's going to be its own thing. This week, we're going to... For now, I just kind of wanted to keep it kind of brisk. Anyway, we're going to go into something that I didn't think I'd be jumping back to so quickly. We're going to be doing Venus Railjack Survivals. We're going to try to get the Ambassador Blueprint this week. If we don't, no biggie. But I just wanted to show off Oberon in some sort of actual content. So that's what we'll do. So let's get to it. All right, we are here in a Railjack Survival. It's coming to be my favorite node, considering I may or may have not have recorded this bit a couple of times already and had some technical issues. I'm using this just to show off how good Oberon is. This week was kind of a bad week for my Iron Man gaming because I didn't really do anything. I mean, for y'all, you'll see the amp progress, and I'm recording this. This is the last thing I'm gonna record for this week, but that amp is going to be very, very good. It's gonna allow us to do conjunction survivals. We can proceed in the main story, even though you could do that if you had a little bit of operator XP. To get Moderine, we'd be able to be just fine, but we could also do Eidolon hunts, which may sound crazy, but we have the gear for it, without a doubt. We can probably take on a terror list, maybe not be able to go all the way, but just being able to kill one I think would be pretty neat. But next week we're going to do Conjunction Survivals. This is how you get Varuna. It is very essential that we have a good amp for that, because we'll be introduced to a new enemy type that is only killable with amps. And can you imagine using the moat amp on something that has to be killed with an amp? It'd be ridiculous. But that should be good fun. Let me actually show kind of the rotation of what we're doing on Oberon. So for max damage, we'd just be putting down our hollowed ground, our 2. We have a little bit less duration, but that's fine. Because we're just going to be really mobile. And then we'd ideally let this stack up to 10. Hit our 4. That's going to give us health orbs very easily. And it's also going to give us energy, thanks to Equilibrium. And if we stack it up to 10, it's going to be very easy to just kill whatever's in front of us. Now, it does fall off. We saw the level 80 heavy gunners. They could tank that shit, but then they're completely defenseless, which... Another bad thing about these Corpus missions is we can't really show the defense strip with the 4, but that's totally fine. We don't really care. Because, again, when we do conjunction survivals, Oberon is going to be very helpful, and it's actually a good thing we got him this week. And we're going to be moving into that, because he's like the perfect frame for us to be doing that. So, that'll be fun. But I don't want to spend too much time here. If we get the Ambassador blueprint, that would be very good. But the best place to get it is from the Void Proxima. So we're going to wait on getting that before we actually farm it out. We do need the Ash systems. So hopefully we can get those. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend grinding this out unless you're Necros. Because my biggest problem with normal path, and it's why I've stuck to it for so long, just so I could really nail it in my mind, is that, damn, bro, in these survivals and solo, enemies just don't spawn. It makes getting life support hella fucking slow. But it's all good. I still, enjoy these endless mission types and the normal path experience. It's been very enlightening, considering that once we get access to Steel Path, we're never going back to normal path ever again. We gotta enjoy it while it lasts. Ash systems. Come on. 5 minutes. Alright, well, I don't want to take up too much time just doing this. You guys can see, I haven't even had my 3 up, but we can maintain it very efficiently. Oberon is very good in his reworked state. We don't have access to his best tools, obviously, because we're not at the end game yet, where all of that stuff is acquired, but even still, for just logging in, and everybody has access to him right now, this guy's pretty freaking good. But I'm just gonna go ahead and cut back to the 10-minute reward and then the 20. We'll see what we get. We'll show off what the derelict cache had in store for us, and we'll go ahead and wrap up this week's video. So I'll be back. 10-minute reward. Oh yeah, Ash systems for sure this time. Oh my god. Oh my god, I was totally fucking zoned out. Hold on. Let's cut the cap. Alright, I forgot to give the actual, like, drop chance. Oh my god, I'm actually excited. I forgot to get the actual drop to record, but if we come in here... Alright. Let's just let these rewards cycle real quick. And, on the 4th one that shows up, something a little bit good. Yeah, that's the Ambassador blueprint, baby. Oh, and hemorrhage again. We don't need that. But, ooh, the Ambassador. Well, in an absolutely bizarre twist of fate, we're actually going to get the Ambassador crafted, which is, pretty swag. I do like this weapon, even if it isn't, like, the greatest. We will make it work. This is actually, we're in the perfect time right now on the Iron Man, where this can be pretty effective. So, but it is also a pain in the ass to get the blueprint. Not because it's, like, that rare. I mean, it's, what, a 12%, 15% at best on Rotation C in Railjack survivals. But, yeah, we just gotta get that out of the way. Now, that does mean we still have to go back to Venus and get the Ash systems. Cringe. But we'll save that for another time. I'm gonna get 2 anyway, so not that big of a deal. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I apologize for not getting too much done. I know I used footage from last week, and, we only did 1 mission and got lucky, is what I said, but I actually had to record that section, like, 3 times. So, I'll make up for it. My name has been Skeletormandee. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you disliked it, you can do that too. Let me know. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. Tell me other grinds you want me to partake in. And if you are interested, you hit a subscribe. I upload weekly for the Warframe Iron Man, and I will continue to do so every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Anyways, I love y'all. Mwah! See you next week.